Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going over Amazon's Poster Truck. Poster Truck has its advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages in particular is one-day payments by Amazon, where they pay you out literally the next day, sometimes even same day. Right now, peak season, it's usually same day if you get it done before like 6 a.m. or so, and you get paid by like 9. I'm going to go over Poster Truck. I'm going to go over the whole thing step by step, how to post your truck and not get sent on a voyage somewhere that you don't want to go. I'm going to teach you step by step how to post it, how to do it right, and how to not just post it just for the one-day payment. Let's get into it. You'll see here, this is just the load board, the search load board. And here are all these loads. Now here's a good paying load for $700. Now how do you get, if you, the difference between Poster Truck and not is if you hit this book button right here, you're not going to get paid till Friday, okay? And for some people, you know, their cash flow could be lower, they're waiting to get paid out by other Amazon relay loads that they've done, or they just would like to get paid tomorrow because maybe they have a bill coming out, such as insurance, truck payments, all that good stuff. So what you want to do is scroll to the top, go over here to Poster Truck, and my origin is going to be Lexington, and you want to make it with a radius. It goes up to 100. That gives you your main fulfillment center that does Poster Truck. This radius and this location right here gives me like 2 or 3 different fulfillment centers, but the one that I'm going to be getting from this will be Hebron because it does most of the post office's loads, and I am an hour and 30 away from there, and I want to come back home. I want to get paid to come home, right, if I drive up there. So what do? For box trucks specifically, one-way trips, okay? You're not going to be doing round trips, nothing like that. We're going to do Lexington, Fayette, 100 radius. Now, this is for me. For you, you would put your origin, and you can go up to 100 for Poster Truck. Now, if you're right outside that 100-mile range, such as 101 to 105 or even more, get a city that is within that 100-mile range to that fulfillment center that you want to run from, that you know does post office runs, if you want to do post office runs. The destination, do not leave this as anywhere. Do not leave this as anywhere. They will take you anywhere if you do. You will have no control. To get control, here's the next step. Hit city. Now if you're doing regional, obviously you can do regional, but again, you're not going to have much control about where you're going. If you want control, do city. Now I personally want to come back home. How do I do that? Berea, London, Corbin, Kentucky brings me back home. This is the minimum amount of deadhead after I'm done with the load. How much deadhead do you want to drive home? So if I do this and I do a radius of, I have done 25 before, but you're more than likely to get more loads with the 50-mile radius. This setting right here, after you hit in your cities, this is the radius from those cities that you will deadhead. Let's say I'm wanting to come back to Lexington, because let's say that's where, you know, I'm living. I'll do a radius of 50. That means that I have 50 miles radius to get a load, and that is the max amount of deadhead I'll be going back home. So I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to do 50 miles. Now start date, let's say I did it for tonight. I would do Monday. I would go down here. I would put 9 o'clock. If you do post office runs, 95% of them are at night, unless they're super hot and nobody got it during the night. It's a super hot load and they run it during the day. So you'll do 9 o'clock. Military time is 2100. That is not saying that you'll start at 9 o'clock, but a lot of loads start posting at 10 o'clock. So the pickup's around 10. So you'll hit 9 o'clock availability. You'll go over to the next day, and you'll do the next day because you're going to be running at night, right? You'll go into the next day. So you'll hit Tuesday. And I was doing noon, but I have been doing a 1 o'clock military time. But obviously you can do noon. Let's do 12:30 the next day. This is just saying that you're available if it takes that amount of time. This is not saying that you're going to be running from 9 to 12. That's not what this is saying at all, okay? If a load pops up and you have your end time at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and let's say the start time for it is at midnight and it's saying it's going to run till 9, you're not going to get assigned that load. Very important. You want to have the maximum amount of time frame. You want that whole shift Okay, that whole night shift to be able to get a load and have the opportunity to get a load. I do not put anything for distance. Why? Because I've already set up where I want to go and the max amount of deadhead that I want to drive, right? So I don't touch this. You do not have to touch this. You can put the minimum amount of miles you want to run is like 150. You can do that, but you're going to be shrinking the amount of load they're going to be able to assign to you. So I just put destination city with a radius amount of deadhead that I will go within that city, or around that city rather. Now, trailer type is going to be required 26 foot. That simply means that you have your own box truck and it's 26 foot, and you're going to be assigned a load for a 26 footer. Driver type will be solo, and you can use this right here to assign. If you have your drivers on your relay account, you can assign them right here. So that means as soon as they give you a load, and whichever driver was assigned to this post truck order will get the notification on their phone like, load book, get ready to leave, pick up at so-and-so time. Okay, if you're not the one driving, this is super important. You can list your driver so they automatically get the thing on your phone, and you don't have to call them. You don't have to text, hey, I got a load, you need to go. They'll get it on their phone. They'll see it. Oh, man, I got to get ready, right? So I don't do price per mile. I do payout. Now, as you can see, the current order I have open is for $1,000. That's tonight. Okay, if they want to post me an order and give me a post truck order, I want $1,000. That's basically what that's saying. I'm naming my rate. Okay, now a lot of times, let's say they don't pay this out, but they have a load. They have been calling me, actually calling me from an Amazon number, and they'll call me and be like, hey, I have this load. I know you have a post truck order for 1,000, but I can do 800. The last 3 nights, this is how this has happened, okay? Because it's peak season, but this is how it's went down. They've called me with like 3 hours to the load needs picked up. Hey, we have a load. Do you have available truck out of Hebron? I said, yes. Could you do 650? I was like, I have a post truck order for 1,000. Can you get closer to that number, or how close can you get? And they're like, hold on, let me ask my manager. Obviously, they're not asking their manager. They come back, 800. All right. My last load was $715, and the load before that was $868 because they called me. Be aware that they will call you to the number that's listed on your account, okay? Okay, now let's go to payout. I'm going to do 1,000 again. Now, stem time. This is probably the most important setting besides the city and deadhead miles, the radius around the city that you'll take loads for. This is probably the most important. It takes me 1 hour 30 minutes to get to the fulfillment center. So what do I do? Stem time. I'll hit 1 hour and 30 minutes. As you can see on your screen, the post truck will not give you an order if it departs earlier than the minimum amount of stem time needed for your driver to travel to the origin location, which will be Hebron for me. It's basically the amount of time it takes you to travel to the FC, fulfillment center. Now, here lately, I don't really care about my performance score that much because a lot of loads haven't been early access and they've been sitting on the board. So I've just been putting 30 minutes and I call them and they correct the time. But if you're one that wants to keep your performance in very good standing, right now I'm at an A, I think 98%, you'll want to utilize this minimum stem time setting. Now, I don't care about the stops. Here lately it's been 1, 2, max 3 every now and then. But the last 3 nights, the last night was 1 stop after I picked up from the FC, and I was done and back home by like 3 o'clock in the morning. But most of them are around 2 to 3. Now, if you don't want to do more than 3, obviously select it, okay? Select it. But this will, again, lower your amount of loads they'll assign to you. So I leave it at any, and you would hit submit. Now, it's going to tell you this is how many trips in the last 6 weeks. This doesn't matter at all. Okay, trust me. The amount of loads that people are booking, yes, this is the amount of loads they've had in the last 6 weeks. But in terms of the amount of loads that they've called people, it doesn't apply to the stat because it's not through the load board. So the calling is completely different. So I would hit yes, confirm, boom. Look, I have 2 orders now for tonight, but that is how you post your truck, okay? That is how you get paid next day. And real quick, if you're still watching, I appreciate you watching this far. Please hit the like and subscribe. Real quick, I want to go over a couple pros and cons to post truck. First pro is you get paid next day. Like sometimes same day. Last night was same day. I got done at 3. They paid me out at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So sometimes it's same day payment if you have that enabled. The other reason is a lot of times post truck orders, you can name your rate, right? Like I have mine at 1,000. That's what I'll get assigned if I do get assigned to load. Now, if they aren't willing to pay that much, they will obviously call you and you can negotiate from there, because you can be like, hey, I have my post truck at 1,000. Can you get close to that? And they're like, $868. Okay, boom, booked. They take away your post truck order so you don't get assigned anymore, and you're booked. You're ready. You're going. Now, if they call you, that's not one-day payment. It's the same as booking. You'll be paid out on Friday, Thursday or Friday. I think it's Friday, 100%. A con to post a truck is that if you post the truck and it's like 8 o'clock and you're like, okay, I don't think I'm getting a load. I'm going to go to bed, or I'm going to go do this. If you forget to cancel your poster truck and they assign you an order and you go to sleep, we'll take a hit, and they'll be calling you like crazy, like, hey, we assigned you this order, where are you? We hit your poster truck order. So make sure that if it gets to a certain time, like it's 12 or 1 o'clock, and you're just decided, well, I'm not going to do a load tonight, I'll go to sleep and wake up early and get up and do a DAT load, right, from a load board. Make sure you cancel this order, because they will assign you one if you forget. Trust me, I've had to hop up and go do it, and I got late, and I'm at 98% because I called and got them to correct my score because of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. We're almost to 1,000 subs. I want to make that final push. If you watched this far, I appreciate your time. I'm going to be coming out with a quick little course. It might cost like $25-50 max. I'm putting together a Patreon if you want to have access to me basically 24/7, and I'm also making a tier to where you can have my own personal number. Now, if you get my own personal number and access to me, it's going to have a hefty charge, so be prepared. You don't have to do it. Obviously, you can utilize the Patreon tiers. I think one tier is like $5 a month or something, and that just gives you access to me DMs wise, but it's not like 24/7. I basically get to it when I can. It'll most likely be, as soon as I can get to it. But if you have your own personal access to me, there will be a charge for that, because I'm a busy man. Okay, I do multiple things. So please do like and let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm putting together the course as we speak, and we're going from A to Z, baby. A to Z. Make that money. Catch you next time.